Friday, and we're going to try to stay as sane as possible. It's December 3rd, not the 30th, for those of you trying to figure things out. I am not giving you homework today. We're just going to go through and talk about poetry, EE type things. You do have NWEA next week. Tuesday is the Englishy one, and then Thursday is the mathy one. And then the other thing is you can bring in old Christmas lights for B points. They're doing a recycling program. So if you have lights that no longer work or that are all tangled up or that you just want to steal off a tree in your house, you can bring them in, and then each strand gets you 5 points up to a maximum of 15. You can bring in more than that if you want to recycle them. You can't get more than 15 points for it. You can bring those in starting Monday, and it goes actually through January, like January 14th or something like that, and you're more than welcome to bring those in if you wish. If not, then you're good to go. Hi, Bowen.
So if we have a tree that has lights on it, but it's a fake tree, so the lights are just always on it, can we bring in the tree?
Sam?
Do you want to see the picture of you?
I do not at the moment. Carter?
Later, can I have a big exam for my thing? Because something isn't adding up here.
That sounds like a thing and a thing. It's hard to go wrong with that many things. Let's see. Speaking of things, let's see. Things that we know. Stanza? What's stanza?
Paragraph.
How do you know what a stanza is?
Big space.
There you go. What's a speaker?
The character talking to the audience in the poem.
Good job for those of you cheating off your own handwriting. I appreciate it. That you're supposed to. It's okay. That's why you've written it down. That wasn't completely sassy. So I'm just saying, good job for those kids who wrote it down. And then let's see. We got through this one. Our evidence that the speaker was a boy.
Bachelor's.
Nicely done. And let's see. There's our bachelor. How many roommates?
6.
Where's your evidence?
7.
There you go on that one. This, blah, blah, and then, what does he look like?
Not shaved.
There you go. That's for the not being shaved. Not shaved. And then there, the beard. And then evidence of the job.
Picks and
Picks
shovels.
and shovels.
What was the job?
Miner.
Or being an undertaker. I'll take either one of those.
Or the truck.
Or working on a truck.
No, monster truck.
Oh,
Very good.
I don't think he was a monster truck. I'm sure he could be a monster truck. And then let's see what we got. How does the house look?
Messy. Not clean.
All of that works for me. And then we got to here, we have the girl. Turns out, who is the girl that shows up?
Snow White.
And who is the speaker?
Grumpy.
And then from there, I think that I have. And definition of alliteration?
Multiple words
multiple
with the same letter at the start.
You're on fire
It's the
right
same
now, Iggy.
sound.
With the same sound or letter. It can go both ways. Because sometimes you have like a C and a K. It can both have the same sound, something like that. And then let's go with, our example of alliteration in this one.
She scrubs, she sweeps, she even dusts the
There you go. And then we got to our caterpillar. Do we have our people chosen for our different stanzas?
Yeah.
Who's my stanza 1? Stanza 2? Stanza 3? 3. Wait, who's stanza 2?
You're 3.
Ryan.
Who stands?
I'm 3.
Well, she raised her hand for both. It was very confusing. So
You're
who's
2, you're 3, I'm 4.
2, 3, 4? Okay, 5. And are you raising your hand or you can? 6.
It's Taylor.
This is very
It's okay. He thinks he's Taylin also. He's like,
No,
"That's
I
such a
had a circle on my paper though.
No,
That's
maybe-
your problem.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wait.
you just like circling
But the
things.
paper's right.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't
Do you
remember
have-
either. I had a lot of kids chosen.
Yeah,
We'll have
okay.
more reading coming up if you want to.
Taylor's more trustworthy.
Okay.
So then, stanza 1. Let's go back into our. We got through this one, but I had a couple little things. We'll get to the. Read by stanza 1. Out loud. Yes.
Under this old honeysuckle, a creeping colored caterpillar, I gnaw the fresh green hawthorn spray. I nibble it leaf by leaf away.
Thank you, Bowen.
Come on.
Our alliteration in the stanza is where?
Creeping color, caterpillar.
What is honeysuckle?
It's a
Maybe,
thing.
but the-
We eat
It's
it
a
for
plant.
money, but only old people like it.
It's not just a leaf.
Because they were broke, apparently.
I mean, you're not wrong. But young people can eat it. It's just young people have figured out you can buy food in stores. It's just old people seem to still eat things off trees. Axel,
If I do that again, I didn't hear him.
he could, but you'll have to go to his TikTok because that's where he'll read it.
I don't have a Tic Tac.
Well, then apparently it's just wait a couple
Tic-tac?
years.
I like
And what is hawthorn spray?
A
A
leaf.
leaf.
There you go.
alert.
And then we have our hawthorn spray there. Who's our speaker in the poem?
Caterpillar.
And what is our caterpillar's hobby?
Eating.
Eating
There you
leaves.
go.
What a great hobby.
Trust me, we're going to come back to it a lot. He really likes this eating thing. That was as far as we'd gotten with you guys. So now we get to introduce new fun things.
Oh wait, I know what it is. We got to where you.
I know
let
it.
me read it.
We read it, we just didn't get very far through it. So, both? No, but you do get to read it again. You're the one that, if you don't want to, I have a kid who thinks he can read. See, Dylan, I told you the time would come. Dreams. I don't think you know how dreams work, Dylan. Stanza 2.
Down beneath grow dandelions, daisies, old man's looking glasses, rooks flap looking across the lane. I eat and swallow and eat again. Again.
And why do you pronounce it as a gain?
Because it rhymes.
Nicely done, Dylan. Then, so we started defining words in here for you. Did we get to dandelions?
Yes.
What are
Yellow
dandelions?
flowers that turn into white orbs that release their seeds.
Works for me. What color do they start off as, you say?
Yellow.
It's there. For some reason, it's
Carter
moving.
still disagrees that they're the same.
Whoa.
Huh? They're not the same.
They are.
No, they're
They're
not.
the same plant.
No.
Yes.
They're the same plant, but they're not the same.
Right. Did we get to daisies?
No.
What are daisies?
Flowers.
Colorful.
They're yellow
What-
things. Yellow flower.
White flower, yellow. Wait.
Red.
Yellow
Red.
should turn white
You're
pepper.
right. You kept starting off confident and then going into like a muffled process. They're the ones that, in the cartoons or the movies, they have like the girl who's like, he loves me not, he loves me. You pluck off little petals and they go around. That's the daisies that have little petals that you can pluck off as you go around.
That's weird.
I'm not the one who started doing it. The old man's looking glasses. This is where it tends to start getting a little bit confusing because most people assume we're referring to stumbly old people who drop things. That's not what it's referring to. It's not referring to eyewear of any kind. Down beneath grow dandelions, a type of plant. Daisies, a type of plant. Old man's looking glasses, nicely done. So just because you haven't heard of it, it doesn't mean that's not what it is. It's just a type of plant.
No, they're
And so it's another kind of flower. It just has a weird old person name. There's like black-eyed Susans, old man's looking glasses out. Apparently when old people named flowers, they got really weird and creative. So they're just mentioning all of these things that grow down beneath where our little caterpillar is hanging out. Next word, rook. Do you know what a rook is?
A bird.
If you don't, and if you're going with bird, I'm fine with that. My issue
frog.
is,
Frog.
why do you say frog?
Because it's crooks.
Because it mentions the croakers. That's usually the first thing that comes up. The issue is, there's other evidence in the poem that would say it's not going to be a frog.
Is it a dragonfly?
Is it? Where's the evidence?
Flap.
There you go. So the flapping implies it has wings, and that's where it comes in to be a bird. So frogs are not going to flap unless you throw them really high, and then that's not really a flapping, that's a flailing as their little arms go back and forth. And again, they're probably not going to be a big danger to caterpillars, they're going to be a danger to themselves when they hit the ground. So, speaking of which, who is our speaker in the poem?
Caterpillar.
So Caterpillar is our character in the poem. We introduce rooks as a danger. Why are rooks a danger to the caterpillar?
They eat caterpillars.
Because they eat caterpillars. So as the bird would go flying across, that's when the caterpillar, those of you who can use your imagination, pretend you're a smart caterpillar. For some of you, this may be a struggle to go that high in intelligence. If you had birds going flying across, what would you choose to do?
Hide it.
Most of you would choose to hide. Others of you struggle to pretend to be a smart caterpillar. Our caterpillar does not hide. What does our caterpillar do? He shakes his little caterpillar feet up there at the sky, and he continues to eat and refuses to give in to all the things the smart caterpillars do. He really likes his hobby. He loves eating. He's good. He's a professional eatist because he's going to get promoted in Caterpillar Town to head leaf eater. Bowen.
So I can imagine it, just not that well. So can I act it out?
Oh, sorry, I was going to ignore you. And then we get from there. Oh, we got to the Stanza 3. Who is my stanza 3 person? We introduce a new danger into Caterpillar Town.
Scary.
Here come raindrops, helter skelter. I munch and nibble, unregarding. Hawthorn leaves are juicy and firm. I'll mind my business. I'm a good worm.
Nicely done. Words you might not know here?
Helter skelter.
Helter skelter.
That was my guess.
Helter skelter.
Helter skelter is an old-timey word. It means crazily or a whole bunch of. When we go to lunch, we have you guys line up when we head down to the lunchroom, because if we just had teachers open the door and go, food, get it, and you guys would all go running down there, that would be an example of helter skelter, as kids would just take off running down there, knocking each other over, all trying to be the first one to get to the big giant food trough. So that's where the helter skelter comes in. What is our danger introduced in this stanza?
Rain.
Raindrops. Raindrops. There's our raindrops. Who's our speaker in the poem?
Caterpillar.
So here's my next question for you. Why is rain a danger to the caterpillar?
You can watch
And before you, it's not because caterpillars are like witches in The Wizard of Oz and they melt. Caterpillars don't melt in the rain. That's tissue paper. Completely different. Iggy.
Okay, 2 guesses.
Okay.
So he could be washed away, or he could drown.
So we'll go with the second one first. The drowning. Where is it caterpillars are usually found? Leaves. Where are leaves?
Up in the sky.
Trees.
On trees.
Yeah, those were clouds. You were confused for a second there. So yes, typically they're on trees. If there's enough water to drown a caterpillar on a tree, then there's probably enough water to also drown us. And most likely there's a large boat going by with 2 of each animal on it. So it's not going to be so much the drowning that we have to worry about. But here is where we get to bring in our stunt caterpillar. Come here, stunt caterpillar. He's volunteered for today. This is our stunt caterpillar. He's a professional. Don't try this at home. This is our stunt leaf. It has gone through many stunt leaf trainings. So if we have our caterpillar hanging out on his little leaf, kids at home from there, and then the rain starts to hit. Rainy, 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 rainy. The problem is when the rain hits, boom, no! Then the caterpillar falls from the rain hitting it and knocking him off, which goes to your first answer, which was washing him off. That's where the danger comes in. Then, Iggy, once he's washed off, no! Are you okay? Okay. Once he's washed off, then it becomes a danger. Because once he's washed off, what happens to him then?
Game over.
That's where the drowning can come in. So those of you who are like Bowen and have the imagination of a somewhat smart caterpillar, when the rain comes, what would you do?
I would get my water bucket into the inventory so that I can land in it before.
I apologize. I didn't mean you. I meant the kids that are smarter than a caterpillar. Dylan,
Hide on the tree.
most of you would hide on the tree. What does our caterpillar do?
Eat.
Again, he is going to get himself promoted down here at Caterpillar Town and work his way up to head caterpillar of eating, the eating division. And he's a professional eatist. So much so, where it says, I'll mind my business. Do you guys know the phrase, mind your own business? I'm
Yeah.
assuming when you're at lunch and kids are talking and you keep going, who are you talking about? And they're like, they do this as an A-B conversation, see your way out of it, and you're like, what, are we kindergarten? You yell at each other. Same thing here. All these other caterpillars are running around, and they're like, the birds are coming, run! The rain is coming, run! And they all run. And then you have Bowen the caterpillar, who's going, no, I'm getting out my bucket. And he's like, you mind your business, I'm going to do my thing. This caterpillar continues to eat. Bowen gets out little caterpillar buckets and keeps trying to fill them up, wondering why it's not working. All the other ones are running, and he keeps throwing up his little caterpillar feet into their faces, going, you mind your business, I'm going to do my thing. I'm a good worm. Which brings us to worm. Why did they use worm in here? Because worms have no legs. Caterpillars have little legs. And unless the poet was a very confused person, there has to be a reason why you would use the word worm as opposed to caterpillar. Axel?
Did the rain wash away his legs?
It did not. That would be acid. That's like rain, but different. Kira?
It's working.
There you go. If not, then it would be really awkward if you were saying hawthorn leaves are juicy and firm. I'll mind my business. I'm a good caterpillar. Then that would not work nearly as well. So they had to change it to worm, and that works a little bit better from there. Bowen, you're wanting to know how many points I was charging the kid for working on his social studies during class? 3.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh, I thought that's the question you were going to ask for the other kid you were trying to help them out.
Oh, no,
Go ahead.
no.
What's up?
Okay, so in Minecraft, you can't actually kick people, you can only punch them.
Uh-huh.
So it wouldn't be kicking the other ones away. It would be.
You're making me apologize for calling on you again, aren't you?
Yeah.
To make up for that, I won't call on Sam because I've got a feeling it's the same kind of question.
Thank you.
Stanza number 4. See? One of us in this class has to learn. On this one, we're going to find out we get into the depressing part of class, or the depressing part of the poem.
Oh.
I'm glad that brings you excitement. Who's my stanza 4 person?
Carter.
Hi, Carter. Who's giving me a happy look? Go for it, Carter.
When I'm old, tired, melancholy, I build a leaf green mausoleum close by here on this lovely spray, and die and dream the ages away.
You have really channeled your inner caterpillar. It means a lot to me. Nicely done. When I'm old, tired, Carter Collie, I'll build a leaf green mausoleum close by here on this lovely spray and give you death stares and dream the ages away. Words we don't know in this one?
Die.
Melancholy.
Mausoleum.
Well, then, those of you who do know what melancholy is, what does melancholy mean?
Sadness.
Not bad. So it's more this like a overwhelming depression that just sort of goes deep into your soul. I just wanted to bond with her. When I was typing in melancholy, trying to find a good picture, and that one popped up, I was like, oh, I can bond with her. If you're trying to figure out when you would feel melancholy, here's the best I can help you out. When the bell rings to end class and you have to pack up to leave my room and you come to the realization you're not going to see me for like 2 more days over the weekend, that sadness that settles deep in your heart and it just feels like there's a crushing darkness there, that's melancholy. But it's okay. You'll see me again on Monday. But now that you know what that feeling is, that's deep inside of you. Iggy?
Does melancholy have a separate meaning for happiness?
Yes, it's called happiness.
Happened.
Hi, Dylan.
So, proving your point even more is when I leave your class, I realize that I have to go now.
Wow, that would definitely qualify. That's even double melancholy.
Well, like, it's melancholy, it's sadness, and it's melon, which is big. Then the opposite of melancholy, so sad and big melon, wouldn't it be like...
So mausoleum, our other word. You guys know what a mausoleum is?
No.
Happy.
It's got like a fork. That was just a
Random guess. I mean, it is a building, so it's kind of on the same thing. Axel?
Isn't that the thing at Rome that had people fight in?
That's a coliseum. You're actually in the right close. They come from the same sort of word grouping. Iggy?
Like a defensive place, like where you can hide and run.
Well, you could hide in it, but I would not recommend it. It'd be rather on the dark side. A mausoleum is a place where you bury people above ground. So I guess you could hide in it, or you could fight in it, but I would not recommend either of those options if it were me. But it's an above-ground burial building. Places like in Louisiana, down in the south, they have this all swamp. So down there, you can't dig under the ground. In their cemeteries, everybody's buried above ground because the ground is too swampy. They have no basements, and you have no one buried underground. Everybody's buried in these above-ground tomb-type things. So that's what there's different ways of doing it. Sometimes you just have like your actual coffin and you're just sitting on a shelf, and you could just, like when Iggy goes to hide in one and you open the door and go running in there, you could just have like just coffins on shelves. There's not like dead people just nailed to the wall. I mean, again, unless that's your own special mausoleum. But typically there's just shelves with little things and you go in there and stuff like that. So that's what a mausoleum is. No! Ugh. Sam, it hasn't changed. I'm still not calling on you. Dylan?
So is there more than one casket in there?
There can be. If you're a really rich person, you can have your own special house, but typically you're going to have more than one person in there. Most people are not, a single coffin kind of thing. Our issue is, our caterpillar is telling us that he's building his own. This is a tree. Caterpillar, tiny. This is big building. That is going to take a caterpillar a long time to build one of those. So this is what we call a metaphor. Because he's not actually building a mausoleum. He's building a different thing that is above ground that he goes inside to die. That is, and what color is the one he's building?
Green.
So what is the green thing that he's going to build to go inside and die?
Cocoon.
Yeah. So he's referring to a cocoon. So when he says he builds his own leaf green mausoleum, it just means that he's going to go and build his own thing that's above ground that you go inside of and you die. And I know, this is where many of you go, but Mr. Brovicast, they don't die. Good job. That was my Are You Smarter Than a Caterpillar test. And for those of you who just figured that one out, you are one step smarter. Some of you are one step smarter than a caterpillar. So congratulations on that one. Unfortunately, our caterpillar is not smarter than a caterpillar because he's a caterpillar. And so he keeps hearing rumors that when you go inside this thing, that you die and you're dead forever. Because once he goes into that, caterpillar never comes back out. One caterpillar entered, no caterpillar exit. Which brings us to stanza 5. And the rumors going around Caterpillar Town that something happens to you after death and it freaks out our little caterpillar. Oh, forgot. What's the spray he's referring to when he says I'm building it on a spray?
A leaf.
No, just making sure you had that one. Go you. Who's my stanza 5?
Truman.
Good teamwork.
Some say worms win resurrection. White with white wings beating flitter flutter. But wings are a sound sleep. Why should I care? Either way, I'll miss my share.
You nailed that one. Good job, lineman. Some say worms win resurrection with white wings beating flitter flutter, but wings are a sound sleep. Why should I care? Either way, I'll miss my share. Words you guys don't know?
Flitter,
Flitter
flutter.
flutter.
Flitter flutter be one.
Wing.
And so you guys know what this is?
Wings.
Yes.
What is
That's
resurrection?
coming
From the
From
dead.
Nice to know.
From dead.
So resurrection is when you are dead and you come back to life. We have a term for that already. For those of you who like to watch movies or TV shows where someone is dead and you bury them in the ground and time passes and then they rise back up out of the ground and then they walk around on the earth.
Jesus.
Nice to know. Zombies.
Or zombie.
Or Jesus. He's been known to eat brains, so you know he gets bored
No, I
sometimes.
meant like.
And so a zombie is what they're referring to here. So he's worried about the fact that once he gets buried and dies, he is going to come back as a caterpillar zombie. More so than just a caterpillar zombie, he's going to come back as a caterpillar zombie with superpowers. And what superpower is he going to have?
Flitter, flutter.
Where's your evidence?
Flutter.
And so his worry is that after he dies, he is going to come back as a flying caterpillar zombie. Because he's like, well, you come back from the dead and you have wings and you fly around. And he's like, I don't want to be a flying caterpillar zombie. The flitter flutter is the sound that the little wings make when you're a flying caterpillar zombie. And you're just like, flitter, flutter, flitter, and you go around trying to eat. By the way, for those of you who don't think you turn into a flying caterpillar zombie, what is it you actually, for the 4 of you smarter than a caterpillar, what do you turn into?
Butterfly.
Do you know what butterflies eat?
With white
Caterpillar.
No, they eat the stuff from leaves.
They eat the leaf.
What's it
They
called?
eat the nectar.
They
They
eat
eat the nectar.
So they have their little proboscis thing on the end, the little curly thing that comes out. They land on the flowers, and the little proboscis nose goes into the top of the flowers, and it just sucks out the flower's brains, essentially. So butterflies are, in a way, flying caterpillar zombies, because they sit there and they land on a flower, and they just go, flower brains, and they eat out all the flower brains, and then once the flower brains are all eaten, they fly away to the next one. Dylan?
Would some say worms win resurrection with white wings beating flitter flutter? Would that be a alliteration.
It'd actually be multiple alliterations that we're getting ready to get to next, Dylan. So Dylan, did you find alliteration?
With white wings.
There's one before that.
Some say.
Nicely done. And there's one after that.
Worms win.
And there's one after that.
With white wings beating.
And there's one after that.
Flitter,
Flutter,
flitter.
flutter, flutter.
And there's one after that.
Sound asleep.
Nicely done. Wait, and there's one more.
Miss Mom.
It's like you guys are figuring it out. So this part where he says, but wings were a sound sleep, why should I care? Either way, I'll miss my share. What is it the thing he's talking about? What's the share he's going to miss?
Becoming a
Being a
butterfly.
worm. Or caterpillar.
What is the only thing our caterpillar cares about?
Eating.
Eating what?
Leaves.
Because when you're a butterfly, do you get to eat leaves?
No.
So the only thing he cares about is
Eating.
Leaves.
eating leaves. And so he's, I'm going to lose the one thing I care about. Iggy.
Is flutter flutter also a sound?
It would be. Wait, no, it'd be alliteration.
Assonance is the vowel.
Is the vowel
So
sound.
that would be with white wing.
It's still the same thing. It's technically alliteration is the whole grouping of it. And you have consonants and assonants, stuff like that. But we're just going to stick with alliteration for now. Susan, then we get to stanza 6 after we find out about flying caterpillar zombies and being depressed. We'll finish out our last one. My stanza 6 person, go for it.
Under this loop of honeysuckle, a hungry hairy caterpillar, I crawl on my hind swinging seat and eat as one ought to eat.
Feels like you nailed it. On this loop of honeysuckle, a hungry hairy caterpillar, I crawl on my high and swinging seat and eat as one ought to eat. At the end, our caterpillar, who's our main speaker in the poem?
Caterpillar.
He says after all of this, there's only one thing he cares about. And the one thing he cares about is?
Eating.
There you go. He's like, after all of this, I'm not going to worry about what everyone's telling me. I'm just going to do the one thing I care about and not worry about the haters that are out there. I'm just going to do the thing I'm good at, which is eating. The high and swinging seat he's referring to is?
Let's go.
What'd you say it was? Okay, I thought you said cocoon.
Someone said cocoon.
I know, that's why I couldn't. Yeah. Keep pointing at other people. That was that kid over. That was
Oh,
definitely
it was
not
me.
So the high and swinging seat is the leaf that he's on. Dylan, are you going to find more alliteration? I saw that coming. There's a lot of alliteration in this one. What's our first alliteration? Our next, wait. There's also bad alliteration. Do not be the person who mentions the bad alliteration.
Swinging seat.
Swinging seat. Is that the next? This is the next one. And there's one more that's not bad alliteration.
One
ought.
One ought.
Good job. Then what's the bad alliteration?
Eat.
Why is it bad?
It's the same
That's the
word.
same word.
So when we get to a quiz and I ask you to write alliteration with your name and you go, Bobby, 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 right in the throat. Because again, just repeating the same word over and over again, not good alliteration. Lyman,
I have a question about the one I. It doesn't really start with the same sound.
it's close. I
Isn't
agree,
it
it's
the
not
same letter,
perfect.
though?
It's the same letter, but the sounds a little because it's a one and an ought. But I've tried not doing it, then kids, again, I found out kids complain either way. Because if I don't do it, kids are like, but it's like the same. Like, so I just kind of had to underline it and just let kids complain.
Globetrotter level.
Ouch, he's not wrong.
Globetrotter.
This is how I do poems with you. We break them down, figure out the things you understand, make sure you know what's going in it, and you're good to go. We're not done. Don't put the paper away. There's more learning, you silly children. Let's learn rhyme scheme. This should be easy. Why do you guys get so depressed? It's not like we're trying to do algebra. Do you guys know what rhyme scheme is?
It's like an
It's the
alliteration, right?
words that.
It is nothing like alliteration. Kind
It's
of.
words
It's like
that.
the opposite of alliterate. Hi, Axel.
So it's like if the first line and the third line rhyme and the second and the fourth line rhyme, it'd be A, B, A, B.
There you go. It's a code that tells you the pattern of rhyme words. If you know what it is, you don't have to write it. If you don't know what it is, because it's going to be coming up on next week's quiz, then that's up to you. We're going to practice doing a little bit of it here together to try and help you out. And so a couple of them we're going to write on your handout, and a couple of them we're not. The spider. Which I don't think is on your handout. I think I don't know. Is it? It is. All right. Okay, it is. It is. Okay, slow down. So the spider, we're going to start with an easy rhyme scheme. Every rhyme scheme starts with the same letter. You always give the first line of a poem the first letter of the alphabet. It should be the easiest problem you ever have. So what letter is it going to get?
Alpha.
There you go. You always give it A. And so you're looking at the last word, eyes, and you go down to the last word of the next line, skies. If they rhyme, they get the same letter. If they don't rhyme, you get the next letter of the alphabet. Does skies rhyme with eyes?
Yeah.
So you give it letter A. Does blouse rhyme with skies and eyes?
No.
So what letters do you get?
B.
House rhyme with blouse?
Yes. B.
When you come to a new stanza, you do not start over. You keep continuing on with your letters. Does goes rhyme?
No.
What letter does it get?
C.
Toes,
Yes.
C.
flower,
D.
bower,
Yes. D.
the new stanza. Hands,
No.
E.
N.
strands,
E.
small,
F.
all.
F.
So this rhyme scheme is just repeating letters. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. Now, let's do a more challenging one.
Okay.
Look at Caterpillar. And we're going to introduce or reintroduce impact learning.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I got a tattoo of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So here, figure out the first stanza, and then we're going to pick one of you to have to do it. If you write it down, you get to cheat off your own paper. If you don't write it down, you just have to sort of wing it. And then it might impact other people.
He doesn't like jokes.
Elena! Thank you for volunteering. That was very brave of you, Elena. I'm so proud. What is our first line, honeysuckle? The first line of every... Elena! You got lucky, Elena! Don't worry. Monday, we're going to pick up with Elena and figure out the first stanza. You just bought yourself a couple days to figure it out. Go online and Google it. I wish you the best of luck.